But it wasn't from lack of trying, I can tell you that. Actually, Bill's last bullet put me in a coma. A coma I was to lie in for 4 years. When I woke up, I went on what the movie advertisements refer to as a roaring rampage of revenge. I roared, and I rampaged, and I got bloody satisfaction. I've killed a hell of a lot of people to get to this point. But I have only one more. The last one. The one I'm driving to right now. The only one left. And when I arrive at my destination, I am gonna kill Bill.
And welcome back to the Filmreelcast, where we're going to potentially conclude one of, maybe, we'll find out, Quentin Tarantino's magnum opus. Is it magnum opus? Is that the right term?
I don't know.
Magnum opus. Kill Bill Volume 2. His final one. Many say it's his best work. Is it? Will we prefer Kill Bill Volume 1? Will we prefer Kill Bill Volume 2? Are they both just as good as each other? So many questions. Hi, guys. See?
Hello.
It's quite normal.
Hello.
I promised a normal intro.
That was amazing. That was what's going on. I'm not used to that. That's going back years. That kind of intro.
Yeah.
It will never beat your Goonies one, though.
Well, the fifth or sixth time. That took bloody ages, doesn't it?
When did you last beat James' Goonies?
He was talking about, will we be able to enter their hole? And finally he was like, no, I can't.
It was
say
something
that.
really bad. It was a really bad choice of words. And if you took it out of context, I look like a sex offender.
Exactly. If you go through it should still be in there. If you go through our library, it's on the Filmreelcast outtakes, and it's so funny. It's James trying to get out an intro for the Goonies, and it's just priceless. If it's not on there, I will put it out again because it's so good.
Nim didn't help, did he? He kept opening
Not really.
He's opening a bag of crisps the minute we pressed record. It was like, you fucking serious? And then he introduced his holiday in France, and he sounded like he was just about to kill himself. He was sounding so depressed, didn't he? Yeah.
It really did, yeah. You tried to get that energy going, and then it was just like, he's so down.
It was terrible. And I remember every time, guys, Stu used to do an intro. We used to record it in like some big chambers. Everyone used to look at him thinking he's going to fuck up, and he never did. And it really annoyed me. It really upset me. I could never get him to mess up ever. He was like Mr. Iceman.
It was your kryptonite,
there we go.
Wasn't it? It really
was. It was my kryptonite.
Yeah,
your kryptonite eating loud.
Oh, ball bags. 2004. Who saw this at the cinema?
Yes, I did.
Oh, wow.
Paul? Neil?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Oh, no.
Paul, you've only just discovered that Quentin Tarantino directs and writes films, I think. Is that right?
Well, I am aware of his work. But it's the first time I've seen Kill Bill 1 or Kill Bill 2. I did watch 1 with a view to come in last week's podcast, but I couldn't at the last minute, as you know. So I've since seen 2, but never seen them at the cinema or before last week.
So when you watch Kill Bill, did you know what it was about? Did you at all? Did you go into it blind? Oh wow, blimey.
Completely blind. All I remembered was seeing Uma Thurman on the side of buses. Do you remember that back in London when you'd see her on the side of buses?
What, literally?
yeah. Stuck there with the Gorilla Glue. Are the
glue still trying to do an episode of Bottom?
Hammersmith,
Are the glues and adhesives unavailable? So she'd be on the side of it was the Kill Bill advert on the side of the buses, on the strip.
Yeah.
And that's all I really knew of it. And never really fazed me. But here we go.
And what did you think of number 1 then?
Right, so number 1, I wasn't a big fan. I mean, I could see that it was, it's well photographed, and yeah, it was okay, but it didn't really float my boat.
Why?
If I'm honest, because it's not a genre I'm really sort of. It's something I'm not that bothered about and not into really. And one thing that really bothers me, I know that it's like a bit of a, there are bits of a parody and stuff involved in it, but when you get someone shows a knife on the screen and you hit or a sword, you hear the it's like it doesn't make that sound, and that always bothers me. Like any film I watch, like Scream and all that kind of stuff, and you see a knife and suddenly you hear this the one bit I know it's really tough. The one bit I really did enjoy was when she killed all those people in that
Crazy
88s. The Crazy 88s, right? In that room. The choreography was amazing because they worked it out. It was perfect. I mean, just the mess that she left and the way it was choreographed, I thought was amazing. That alone made the film for me. But on the whole, yeah, I could have just flicked through it. But
when you think
what do I know?
The noises that they were kind of making with regards to
the
swords and everything that.
Yeah.
If you go back to that. I can't really pronounce his name, but that Chai Hui Lu, whatever his name is, he was in this as the is it Pai Mei, and he does like the films like Shaolin Warriors and spiritual boxers and spiritual minds and stuff like that, and they're all kind of takes from there where it is so over the top and the swords make that noise, and when he jumps up and lands on that sword, it's just it's a kind of a nod to those 70s kung fu films,
I guess. And it was also a nod to there was a couple of bits in it, a nod to Monkey Magic, I thought, which was
Monkey Magic was awesome
because it was, and there were a couple of shots there where they zoomed in and zoomed out, and I thought that's Monkey Magic because it reminded me so much of like my childhood watching the TV show. But when you look at it's not just those sounds, but when you watch a movie or a TV show and you've got someone on the stage and they've got a microphone on a stand in front of them, the people making the film or the TV show always have that howl round like feedback effect before the person speaks.
Yeah.
So you've got like a guy on a stage in a school, whatever, and you hear this ring before they speak. You think everyone can see you're on a stage in an auditorium with a microphone in front of you that's going to make that sound. You haven't got to emphasize the fact that it's a microphone and you're in that. It just bothers me. And coming from a radio sort of sound effects background, it just really grates on me when I hear things pointed out to you which are obvious.
So from now on, when we pick films to review, we've got to bear in mind helicopters, swords, and radio noises.
Yeah. Try and pick a silent flick.
We'll pick Good Morning Vietnam. That's really good.
Or something with Normal Wisdom in it. I don't know.
Jesus Christ. Well, that's good to know, and it's interesting. What are you giving it out of 5?
The first one.
Yeah.
2.5.
Two. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Listen, fellas, I heard your review today. I listened to it today, and I could see I could see why you like it, but it just didn't do it for me.
I think is it because it's not got a time machine in anything like
Michael
that.
J. Fox or Pierce Brosnan. Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't filmed in the 80s.
Yeah, I'm a little bit shallow.
Never mind, James. You're really worryingly quiet.
No, I'm good.
There we go. I thought he'd gone to sleep.
I thought he'd gone to sleep.
No. Nim could send me to sleep talking about films, but I mean, other than that, we're good.
Bless. Well,
good stuff.
Let's crack on with this film anyway. Then it's virtually the same cast as the last one, but we feature more with Michael Madsen, who's always an interesting character, as in his level of enthusiasm seems to be zero, really. But I enjoy him. I really liked him in Reservoir Dogs. I thought he was absolutely brilliant in it. Daryl Hannah, We focus on her as Elle Driver, and of course, we've got Kill Bill, who's David Carradine, who I learned a lot about David Carradine's family thanks to you, James, who I didn't realise.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, good old Dave. I tell you what, David Carradine. I mean, he almost came out of nowhere to this role, wasn't it? I know Tarantino was considering a lot of other people, including Burt Reynolds. I think Warren Beatty was potentially one of them. And I cannot now, after watching this, imagine David Carradine not Bill being played as anyone else. I thought he did such a good job, and a lot of it, I think, is down to his quite unique voice.
Yeah, I think so. He's got a very relaxing voice, and he can be sinister and evil, but keep that one tone and be relaxing to listen to at the same time, which sounds bizarre. Even when he's threatening you, it sounds quite nice.
Absolutely.
But yeah, he's really, really good. And we kind of carry on at the start of this film. We go to the wedding, and we see, which is quite nice, we see the other side of the wedding of actually what did happen. But before we get to that, what do you think of the intro? You've got Uma Thurman in the car, black and white, really classic, with the obviously kind of overtly fake background of a film playing behind her, and she's driving, just talking about who she's going to kill, and now she's going to go and kill Bill. I think that is so stylish. It looks really good, and she looks amazing, doesn't she?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, she does. It was a nice way to bring you into the second one. It was just a very quick snapness of the first one, wasn't it? And then what she's going to do. I thought it was very clever.
Yeah, it was. I think it was once again, we mentioned in the first bit, it was quite risky. It was because the way she was almost overacting to the point where it was almost pantomime-esque. But because the way it's shot, as Stuart was saying, is really arty, it works, and Tarantino kind of gets away with it. But had another filmmaker tried to do it, I don't think it would have worked, if that makes sense. He just kind of gets everything just right, but it was quite pantomiming, and I mean that in a good way. But I still think that's quite a risky move to make, especially the way she's talking to the camera. But
no, I think you're spot on. That's really well described, and I think the fact that in black and white it helps it kind of keep kind of the film noir kind of feel about it, where if it was in colour, I think it wouldn't. And it's amazing that just such a simple change into black and white has such a massive effect, where I obviously would never think of doing that, where I think it shows the creativity and the brilliance of like Tarantino to be able to do simple things to have such a big impact.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
I think you're completely right, Stu. It's I guess he was going for that though, wasn't it? It's like a break of the fourth wall. She's talking to the audience. She's explaining what's happened and where she's going to go, which is unusual. You don't usually get that, do you? Unless it's some sort of comedy film, such as Deadpool, for instance, naming a recent one, where it is a constant break of the fourth wall. But I like it. I think it was really, dangerous in the sense of, has it been done before? Probably not. But did it work? Yes, it did.
Yeah, completely agree. And we go to the massacre at Two Pines, which is the wedding, and she's obviously
before you get to there. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, go for it.
One thing I noticed on the third watching of it, and with the help, I think, of a YouTube video, as the credits are rolling, you've got each of the actors, and all the ones that died are crossed out when the credits come in. Like,
really?
Like Manson's crossed out. Yeah. Apart from two people, one is Bill, David Carradine's not crossed out, and Eddie Driver, Daryl Hannah is a question mark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. I
didn't even notice
really
that.
Interesting
good point.
Anecdote.
Yeah,
but I didn't notice it until I watched this thing. I think one of the many YouTube videos on it, and I watched it back. I was like, oh my gosh, sorry about that, Stu.
No, not at all. As I say, it's little things like that people put in, which is pretty quirky, isn't it? That you just don't realise on a viewing because you're not thinking about it. But no, I like that. The wedding itself is so simple, so downplayed, isn't it? And it's not what you'd expect. She's with this guy who just doesn't seem suitable whatsoever. Seems a complete bum and a waste of space. And she's got people there on her side who's again, don't suit her for where she's come from. We know her to be this slick killer, this assassin, and these people just seem like nobodies. They just don't fit. They're a bunch of misfits, aren't they? And you don't know where they've come from or how, if they're her friends or his friends.
It's actually the practice, isn't it, for the wedding? It's not the real wedding. It's the rehearsal.
Yeah, but they're all going to be there, aren't they? And they're just. She says that she hasn't got any family, and these people just seem complete. It sounds really out of order to say complete losers because I don't even know them. There's no story behind them, but they just don't fit into this story of Kill Bill, do they?
No, it's obviously her alternate life that she's chosen, isn't it? And she's just got in with this guy and felt safe with him and wanted a normal life, sort of thing. So yeah, very unusual, but I had no issue with the characters. I thought they were all quite good, to be honest. And he's obviously a bit of a numpty. He has his record bookstore and everything else like that. But you know, it was quite clever. I thought the vicar and his wife were really annoying, but that's what they were written to be. But other than that, I didn't have an issue with it, to be honest.
Was that his wife or was that his mum?
I think his wife.
Oh, was it? I really wasn't too sure. But yeah,
he did say mum, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought he did say mum, but I wasn't too sure because their ages aren't that much different. But
they often call their other half's mother. They don't know if they're the mother of their children, or she is the mother of the flock, as it's religious. Yeah.
I've got no idea, to be honest, not being religious. But I like Samuel Jackson in this. Again, you get these characters like Harvey Keitel, Samuel Jackson, who are in a lot of his films. And I like the fact you do get these stars who come in and willing to play bit parts with only just a very small lot of dialogue to actually talk about. But it feels nice. It feels right having him in this film, just being such a cool organist who's sitting there having a cigarette, talking about who he's played the blues with. And I love that. It's just small dialogue, but it's great to have Samuel Jackson. He's so good. I think he's really entertaining in this.
Rufus is the man.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. I mean, when we get to kind of this part, and obviously they're talking about what's happening, how they want the wedding, and they kind of do make a point of saying that Uma Thurman doesn't have any side of the family. It's unusual for someone not to have anyone. And that's when you get, and I couldn't help but thinking it, when she goes out and has a break outside. And as she's walking outside, it's so funny that it's so cliche that you've got Bill there. And we finally see Bill. We haven't seen Bill before. So it was great to see him. And he's playing that flute. And it seems so funny to me because it reminds me of that guy in Little Britain. What did you think of or Bill sitting there playing the flute on the veranda?
Well, before you ruined it for me, Stu, by doing that, now I can't unsee it the second time when I watched it again. Diddle-oo, hello. Yeah, going up to the desk. Would you like some soup? Or, I thought it's now ruined it for me because even when you were talking about Pai Mei with the thing, I thought, yes. Thank you for that. So I thought the whole thing was really tense, though. Before you ruined it for me, it was really tense. As in, you don't know. You know why Bill's there. You know what's going to happen. You don't know how it's going to happen. You don't know what's going to set him off. How he's going to do it. What he's going to do. You just knew the how. You didn't know the when. Maybe you guessed about the why. I felt it was so tense. It was kind of like climbing a roller coaster, getting to the inevitable top for that big drop, but you do not know. You just didn't know when it was going to happen. Be like being blindfolded. I mean, on a roller coaster,
Yeah, and I think that's credit to Uma Thurman's acting in this, because you can see how nervous she is, but yet she's trying to play it cool. With the cinematography shows it where she's moving across the veranda, so to speak, and her feet, are just edging slightly and on tiptoes and stuff like that. And then it flips to Bill the way he walks, and he's very assertive in his steps.
Are you gonna be nice?
I've never been nice my whole life. But I'll do my best to be sweet.
I always told you, your sweet side is your best side.
I guess that's why you're the only one who's ever seen it.
She's very timid around him, but trying to show that she's confident and not scared. But you can tell she's absolutely shitting it because she knows what Bill's like. I thought it was very clever the way they did it.
Yeah, you saw Bill had the ultimate control, didn't you? And he's so kind of in a way passive aggressive, and that he's not got any weapons, and at no point does he threaten her. It all comes from Uma Thurman, as you say. Are you going to be nice? And you just think, kind of cheeky, but obviously nice means that person lives or that person dies, depending on what kind of mood he's in. And you never get a sense of how evil he is in this, do you?
No. From these bits, you can tell he's nasty because of how scared she is, and she's asking him to be nice. But yeah, at this point, he's there, and he's so softly spoken as well, isn't he? It's very good. The acting's fantastic.
Oh, definitely. And I think it works because he doesn't threaten her. And I think that's what is so unassuming about him. And as you say, it works so well because I think it's you, Neil, who said Uma Thurman plays it so well, doesn't she? That she is so tense, being twiddling her fingers, just playing with that kind of those flowers in her hands. And she doesn't. And it's nice that she knows how dangerous he is. And that when like the boyfriend is talking to Bill, she's virtually waiting for some kind of reaction to a stupid comment he makes, possibly to Bill, for it all to go tits up. And definitely. She plays it so well. There's so much tension, but without it kind of appearing to be intentional.
Oh no, definitely. When she introduced him as the dad, you could just see even Bill was shocked, and it was almost like a switch had been flicked. Switch had been flicked, hadn't it? In the sense of him, he was like, "I'm pissed off. I am not your dad. I'm your lover."
Yeah.
Sort of thing, and it was it was ramping up very sensitively and slowly, but it ramped up, didn't it? And you could, in the tension and stuff like that. It was But you just felt for the boy, the bloke, didn't you? Because he's completely unaware. He's just a bloke that owns a record store. He's trying to marry this really pretty girl, thinks he's the dad, and he has no fucking idea who he's talking to or anything. And you just feel for him.
It was interesting.
It gets worse. I'm sorry.
The kiss. Let's talk about that kiss they share. Being an alleged father and daughter, when she walks back up to him when he's in the church, and the kiss that she gives him is a bit too long that I'd want to see any daughter kissing their dad, I have to say. And it's
but I'm guessing no one else saw it. Thankfully, that was a thank you for not killing everyone kiss, wasn't it?
It's a really weird, awkward kiss that they give each other. But I mean, Bill's too cool to give a shit about what anyone thinks, and it is. He
doesn't even kiss her back though, does he?
No, not at all. And I think what adds insult to injury is that he's obviously really powerful, very wealthy. He's got people who will kill for him at a command, and the girl that he clearly loves and that he can't have out of everyone is now with some idiot who's working in a record store, who's wearing a suit to the rehearsal because he wants to get his money's worth out of it. And that's just a mixture of insults, which is probably the straw that breaks camel's back to lead everyone else just to massacre everyone there.
Yeah, it's savage, isn't it? The fact that she's quite happy, she thinks she's all right, then all of a sudden the music starts and they four walk in, and all you hear is her scream, "Bill, no," or "No, Bill," and then they just open fire and just kill everyone.
Fucking mental. I mean,
it is.
Paul, would you rather have seen what happened inside the chapel, or do you think it's better left to your imagination?
I think you saw enough of what happened in one, didn't you? So you saw some of what went on in one. But again, leave it to your imagination. It's not I was happy with seeing what I saw. They kind of panned out. It was like an aerial shot of the chapel, and you just saw the flashes of the gunfire. Yeah, it was fine for me.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. And I didn't realise, I don't know whether you did, Jay, when you watched this, that, and I probably got it wrong, and it may not even be the case, but Michael Madsen and David Carradine, Bill, and I can't even remember, Budd, they're actual brothers in this, aren't they? Is that right?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
You get
never
that
picked that
also
up.
confirmed from the sword. Because he makes out he sold his Hanzo sword that Bill gave him. And when he gets the sword out, it's to my brother Bud, the only man I've ever loved, or something. It says on the sword, doesn't it?
Yeah,
later on,
Right, yeah.
Which kind of can, yeah, because I wasn't too sure at first as well. The first time I watched it.
No, they're so opposite to each other, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely.
And it's because Bill, and it's interesting what happens kind of later on. I mean, obviously this is going to be spoiler like every single podcast we do. That what happens to Bud by the hands of Daryl Hannah, that I was really surprised that happened, bearing in mind of her allegiance to Bill, the fact that she sets up Bud and obviously, as we'll talk about it in greater detail, kills Bud, which I was surprised when I kind of, from watching this only yesterday, that they're actual brothers. I never realised that, and all the viewings I've had, I didn't realise that, even though, as you said, it's written on the sword. Christ knows why that didn't drop. Fucking unbelievable when you think we've been doing this for so long. But
your attention to detail.
I know it's fucking terrible, isn't it? It really is, especially the amount of things I write down and all the notes I do. That must have just skipped by me in this. But we learn we go into detail about, like we do in every single character. And I like Bud. I think it plays out so well. He works in this strip club that no one goes to. The owner is so sleazy. He's a stereotypical trope of a dirty, sleazy owner who's doing lines. And even though Bud's bottom of the barrel, he still just hates this guy, and he just can't stand him. And he treats Bud like shit when he goes through his shifts, and he talks about when he's working.
My point is, I'm the bouncer, and there ain't nobody out there to bounce.
You're saying that the reason that you're not doing the job that I'm paying you to do is that you don't have a job to do?
No.
Is that what you're saying? What are you trying to convince me of exactly? That you're as useless as an asshole right here? Well, guess what, buddy? I think you just fucking convinced me.
He lives in a shitty caravan or static home thing in the middle of what looks like an old abandoned quarry. He's drinking out of a tin, and all this. He's all the money he's obviously made from killing people. He's just broke, so he needs the job. So I think he just takes it because he has to. He hates it, but he just has to.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
He takes so much, doesn't he? The way the guy talks to him.
Yeah, but what else is he going to do?
Is it? But then, when Bill talks to him just before he goes to work, you've got him, as Neil quite nicely described, the way he's living, and then behind Bill in the shot, you've got Bill's very Italian, quite expensive looking car.
Oh, it's
and
beautiful.
I think that's an immediate comparison between the two brothers, the way we feel about Bill, how scary he is, and this guy we can't take quite seriously. He does. And Tarantino does to a point subvert expectations for a bit later. Also, when he does go to the strip joint, you've got in the car park is Butch's Honda Civic from Pulp Fiction.
Seriously?
Is it really?
Yep.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
what a brilliant little.
I know.
That is awesome.
I love that. That is wicked.
So I just never, mind you, it's not going to surprise you after my last one that I never see detail like that.
No.
Jesus, but it's just such a contrast. I mean, he gets torn a new one by this owner. When you think the people how many people I imagine Bud has killed, it is considerable. That I just don't understand why he hangs around here, cleans out the toilets when they're just blocked up with shit, and doesn't move on somewhere else. Or there's got to be some reason why Bill won't bail out or help his brother anymore, unless he has done in the past and he just spunks it all away. I don't know.
Well, he said they hate each other, don't they? But he wants him to work with him so he doesn't get murdered by Beatrix Kiddo.
Yeah.
But, he doesn't want help, does he? But Bud doesn't want any help. He just wants to get on and do his own thing. And clearly he's stopped killing people. And
obviously, he must be well out of shape and not killing people. But he's still got that bit about him, because when he goes back to his caravan after working at the strip club, he's got that sixth sense that he knows someone's out there. He knows that Uma Thurman is watching him. And I like that about him, because it kind of puts you as the audience right back to remember that he is a killer. He is an assassin, even though he's a lazy bum. That he is an assassin, and he knows that he's being watched.
Yeah,
but he's ready for it.
He hasn't lost it. He just doesn't do it anymore. And I think he probably just enjoys this life of solitude, drinking, that stupid thing that he makes up himself, chewing tobacco, and basically, working in a titty bar. Yeah, he hates the guy, and it's the life he's chosen.
End of the day, he works in a titty bar. What else do you need?
Exactly,
Exactly. Yeah, I know what you mean. Were you surprised of the ease that Uma Thurman got? I mean, she kicks down the door with the sword. He's waiting there, and he's got the shotgun filled with salt, rock salt, and he shoots her with a shotgun, which is a terrific scene. It looks visually brilliant. She goes flying back. But were you surprised with the ease that she managed to get captured?
Too cocky, I think.
You think it was cockiness? What about yourself, Jay?
Yeah, I think she was being too cocky, but I thought it was brilliant writing, because, as I mentioned, subverting our expectations, and this is the way to do it. Not this fucking shit in The Last Jedi. I thought this way was the way to do it. We're expecting him to be easy. He's a bum. He used to be really good. Look how far this guy's fallen. But he's kind of like still got it a bit, and he's got one up on the bride. And he even looked up, didn't he? He was suspect. It's almost as if the shots we got before he entered into his little caravan, he was. Quentin Tarantino, I think, was telling us he knows something's up. He knows something's not right, because he's looking in the quarry, looking way ahead on the horizon, then gets in. So he I felt he knew something was going on.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. He knew that she was out there, and he's been one of the only ones who, and it's been said in the past, of that they deserve to kind of get taken out. She does deserve to have a revenge of everything they've thrown at her, and that's said at the end of the last film, or the first film rather. So he's pretty realistic as to the shit hand that they all gave Beatrice Kiddo, and he is fully expecting it. And I think you're right. I think it's her cockiness due to the fact that he is so out of shape and doesn't come across as being someone who's on his game, but he clearly is, and that it fooled me. And I was really surprised when she got shot, because I thought, well, she's got a bulletproof vest on. I thought, well, she's not, clearly, and what's going to happen to her? But it's fucking terrifying. It's one of the worst deaths, what they do, being buried alive. I can't imagine a more horrible. I mean, obviously shark fire and stuff like that, but it's an awful way to die, isn't it?
Shark fire.
I tell you what,
Two together.
Shark fire.
Or a fire of a shark eating you. Shark on fire. Anything.
I tell you what was horrible about that scene is, when watching it in the cinema, you've got all that surround sound, so you can hear the earth fall all around you. You can hear it breathing. The cinema's completely black, and it's like, oh my god, you're almost feeling claustrophobic yourself. It was really, really well done. As Stu said, it's a nightmare, isn't it? I mean, that can give you sleepless nights thinking about it too much.
Exactly.
I think he's the most sadistic, isn't he?
Do you think so?
I think so.
I think that Elle Driver is pretty.
Yeah, I think she's
greedy.
She's
greedy and conniving in what she does, and the fact that she's quite happy to kill people in a dishonest way, as we explore later. But this guy shoots her in the tits with rock salt, buries her alive. Before she buries her alive, he threatens to burn her eyes out with mace, so she's then buried alive, blind and in agony. And I think he's just the most sadistic out of all. He's the sickest in the sense he does not care. He just doesn't care at all.
What do you think, Jay? Who would you pick?
Yeah, I think he is sadistic in a completely different way to Elle, because the death he's given her is really horrible. At least Elle was going to poison her, albeit that's a bit sucky. But then she also kind of does it on 180 and said she doesn't deserve the death being buried in a grave like that. You know, she's like a warrior, etc. And I think even she recognised that she didn't deserve that death. But he did it because he explains to her, doesn't he? He basically wants to get back at her and really hurt her because of what she did to his brother, his older brother. He feels that she completely ruined the older brother. And he even mentioned, I think, at one point that he did warn Bill about her.
Yeah.
Warn Bill about her, etc. I think he does kind of, in a way, still love his brother. He wants to hurt him, but hey, he kept the Hanzo sword, albeit he lied about it. So he does care about his brother a lot more than I think he gives Bill credit for. And we see that, I think, later on in the audience, but finally with the fact that he did keep that Hanzo sword.
Yeah, definitely. And he makes that call to Elle Driver to say that basically who he's got captured.
Bill.
Wrong brother, you hateful bitch.
But.
Bingo.
And to what do I owe this dubious pleasure?
I just caught me the cowgirl. Ain't never been caught.
Did you kill her?
Well, not yet, I ain't. I shot her full of rock salt. She's so gentle right now, I could perform her coup de grace with a rock. Anywho. Guess what I'm holding in my hand right now?
What?
A brand spanking new Hattori Hanzo sword. And I'm here to tell you, Al, that's what I call sharp.
How much?
And offers the sale of the Hanzo sword, which pisses Elle Driver off because he promised he'd never make another sword again. He gave a blood oath, and he made a sword for someone who she clearly despises. And I like that conversation between Budd and Elle Driver. I think you definitely get a sense of the hatred especially from Elle Driver towards Uma Thurman, of just how much she wants her dead, how much she wants her to pay as well. But yeah, I mean, looking at it, this is a sick way to go. But also Uma Thurman's character, she's got every right. She's got her own agenda, but she's equally as nasty in this as the way she takes people out. So I think it'll be an interesting kind of debate of who is the most evil in this and who is the most nasty. I don't know. You could go several ways, couldn't you?
Well, you could. It's all different people's opinion, isn't it? She's doing it because of the fact she's trying to kill all the people that she believes has killed her daughter and tried to murder her and everything else. Whereas he's pissed off with her because he's broken his brother's heart, so decides to fucking bury her alive. At no point does she bury anyone alive. She chops people's arms off and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. Bang out of order. But
bang out of order.
but still not burying you alive. Bit weird.
Is that what you'd say?
Much.
You get to chastise someone who did it. You're bang out of order for doing that. Now on you go,
mate. Come on, no more of that arm chopping.
but yeah, and from her being kind of buried in the in this grave, that, as you say, he does threaten to burn her eyes and all sorts of things. I'm glad that they left it as she's been buried. I'm glad they didn't go above and beyond of brutality to start sexually assaulting, because I think they'd lose the audience doing something like that, wouldn't they? Or possibly not.
They're not that type of people, though, are they? They're horrible in the sense of they will kill people and torture people, but I don't think they're still what they would call people of honor, in the sense of they are hired to kill people, not do stuff like that. So yeah. I'm pleased it didn't go down that route, because it would ruin all of their characters, really, wouldn't it?
Oh, completely. And then you get the flashback of more of remembering Little Britain, where they're sitting around a fire. Bill's got one of the biggest flutes known to man. It's about 6 foot long. and he talks about the legend of Pai Mei, and you can tell at this part that Uma Thurman really does love Bill, and it seems to be kind of more one way than kind of they're both in love with each other, doesn't it? Or am I wrong on that front? I don't know.
It does look that way, but I think he probably is in love with her. He just doesn't show it in the same way that she does. She's clearly besotted by him. Obviously, all his knowledge and what he does and everything. And his name is the Snake Charmer, after all.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's his. They've all got their names, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like Black Mamba and stuff like that. His title is the Snake Charmer.
I didn't know whether that was to do with the size of his flute.
Potentially, to be fair.
Yeah,
Piper.
He would have named himself that, surely. What would your name be, James? I know your wrestling name is the Stallion. What would your Kill Bill name be? Would you stay with the Stallion?
Yes.
Interesting. And what would your weapon of choice be?
My weapon, I've got two. My guns.
Would it be an inhaler or something?
Yeah, probably. If I'm honest.
Inhaler.
Mate, I've got 5 seconds in me. If it doesn't end now, I'm in trouble.
Exactly. You can go flat out beyond any man for 5 seconds. After that,
that'll be my superpower. Yeah, 5 second man. It's a good 5 seconds. Yeah, it's a good 5 seconds, but that's it. That'll be my superhero name, Cannon Fodder. I like that. Very good.
I like that.
But then we go to Pai Mei. I love Pai Mei. What a character!
Absolutely.
It's so over the top, mysterious, magical kung fu wizard. The way he flicks his white beard when he talks, and he's clearly given Bill a kicking, or they've had a fight when he goes up those, like every kind of place. There's long stairs that go up, and we don't see the top of it when he's talking to Uma Thurman, and he's fully aware everyone has been through Pai Mei and been trained, and he even points out what a nasty bastard he is, doesn't he? I like the fact that he does that.
I like the fact that she says, "Oh, how long is it going to take for him to warm up to you?" He's like, "Well, you're a woman. He doesn't like them. Doesn't like Caucasians. Hates Americans. So probably about 3 years." Her face is like, "What?
What?
When will I see you again?"
That's the title of my favorite soul song of the 70s.
What?
Nothing. When he tells me you're done.
When do you think that might be?
That, my dearest, depends entirely on you. Now remember, no sarcasm, no back talk. At least not for the first year or so. You're gonna have to let him warm up to you. He hates Caucasians, despises Americans, and has nothing but contempt for women.
3 years? Oh, it's hilarious.
So
Brilliant.
But it's good though, because it kind of, I mean, even the years thing you mentioned, we're laughing at, but it then, when you think about it, show, okay, if it's that many years, I completely accept the fact that she is that good, if that makes sense, you know, because of all those years trained under this guy. And interesting, he's actually, as we mentioned, he's based on obviously the martial arts in the past, the Shaolin, but Pai Mei is the Pai Meis, as in like the people, is actually based on a historical an alleged historical figure called Buck Mei, meaning, I think, white eyebrows, and he's said to have a large influence for the demise of the Shaolin during the, I don't know when it was, but a long time ago, obviously. So that character is actually based on what we presume to be a real life person.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's
the attention to detail, though, isn't it? That is the attention to detail that Quentin goes into. You know,
absolutely.
He will do that kind of research and stuff. I love it. It's fantastic.
And interestingly, the actor that played Pai Mei in this, a lot of the time back in the older kung fu films we're talking about, fought against him in many of the films. Fought against the character of Pai Mei.
Yeah, he's done so many films. Have you seen all his library of films? It's incredible. Yeah, I've not seen any myself, but I wouldn't mind going back and watching them because there are just so many films. But he looks just so over the top. His eyebrows are so bushy, his beard's bushy, and when he's belittling her and he's flicking his beard, it's such a good character, and she's so stubborn and strong. And first impressions obviously count in anything you do. And her first impressions, the way she changes she's a typical arrogant American. That's the picture that's been painted by Bill, and he believes in. And that sword fight, she gives it a go, but she gets her ass kicked. And even when she kicks him in the bollocks, but there's no pain, and then he kind of just moves his legs and throws her about 6 foot.
Some people have suggested he's meant to be a eunuch. Jaime.
Oh, that would explain it then, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. As you said, I also love the fact that the way he throws the sword and it lands perfectly back in its place.
Yeah,
that's
so
a callback, isn't it, to the old martial art films, which is what this is, isn't it? It's a Western.
Yes.
Paul, you must have hated this with the noises and sound effects. You must have hated it.
That was a section of the film that I just didn't really gel with at all. And
Seriously?
I know you guys are far more well versed with these films, and I'm just a mere viewer. But I don't know.
What, you're going to say voyeur then?
Voyeur, well, as well. I just didn't. He annoyed me. Like, just the whole dialogue as well just really wound me up. And I know I get where Tarantino's coming from, and I do get the whole idea of the film and etc. But it was something that I just had this urge, and I know you're going to hate me for this, just to skip through, because it's just the dialogue, and like even when she's trying to, he's absolutely rinsed her, and she's trying to eat the rice with the chopsticks, and she can't eat this, so she puts them aside and tries to eat with her hands, and he says, if you want to eat like that, be treated like a dog. It's just, I don't know, just his character just wound me up, and it just did not really enjoy that bit whatsoever.
Oh, I loved it.
Oh, dearie me.
Did you really?
Yeah, absolutely loved it. I loved his character. I like the fact that it is almost a homage and a piss take of the old school martial arts films, because that's how I viewed it.
You're right. I saw that. Yeah, I did get that.
And
but
and the fact that he is so arrogant, and he can be arrogant, because the legend is because someone didn't reply to his nod, he wiped out a whole load of Shaolin monks. And he's trying to teach her that you have to do things the right way and you can't just give up. So her dropping the chopsticks and trying to eat with her hands, he's like, no, you might hurt, but you will do things the right way, sort of thing. And I liked his character. He's just funny, completely over the top. I completely get it, and I can understand why you might struggle with it.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point. I think that is what he was trying to do. He was trying to sort of take the piss a little bit.
Push her a bit, you mean?
Well, I think Quentin was taking the piss out of what he made out of his character.
Gotcha, yeah.
It was just to show she is the way she is, because she's been trained by someone that won't let you quit.
Yeah.
That's why she isn't quitting and killing all these people.
And those zoom in and zoom out shots they did, that reminded me of the old Japanese, the old movies, and also, like I said before, initially the
TV series Monkey, wasn't it?
And I used to love that as a kid. But it was like zoom in, zoom out so quickly, So, but what it did remind me of actually was it reminded me to get my ear razor out for my eyebrows. So I didn't want to be sporting my Michael Heseltine eyebrows.
If you're anywhere near Pie Mate, we've got serious problems, honestly.
It wasn't that far ahead, but I thought, I need to put that on charge again. Yeah.
Jay, what did you think of Pie Mate? Do you think he was over the top or enough?
Yeah,
not enough? What do you think?
I think he got it. For me, he got it just right. It's one of my favourite scenes in the whole film. It's almost like the opposite to Paul. It's weird, isn't it? How people can see things differently.
That's really why we do this.
Yeah, it was, once again, kind of a bit pantomime-y, but I accepted that because the way the first film was and the second one, and I thought it was a lovely homage. It was absolutely brilliant. Secretly, we left Pie Mate kind of I wanted more, which is good in a way, because he didn't outstay his welcome in the film. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Well said.
I completely agree as well. Yeah, I thought it was a real nod back to the over-the-top origin stories of the disciple becoming a genius and what they have to go through and the hardships, and looking at Uma Thurman of the weight loss, the different in her physique and how she looks. She clearly works so hard and trains so hard for this, because she's doing weapons, she's doing kind of like a tiger claw and just different moves, and she looks amazing. And I think it's obviously, you can't really say the word believable, but I think you appreciate it more when these actors do actually go through this training and do it. And she looks ripped, like Linda Hamilton in Terminator 2. She obviously did that training, which we know, and it makes it more believable, and it's a better journey when these people, when she's carrying that buckets of water up that hill, she's so skinny, isn't she?
Yeah, it doesn't, like you're right, Stuart, it does make it completely believable, because she just stayed the same weight the whole way through. Then she's clearly not training, is she? It's just, so yeah, no, I like it.
Yeah, I think it's a fucking awesome character. And from there, when she's punching through the wood and they teach her to do it kind of in short bursts, obviously that's what led to the flashback to Pai Mei, and kind of totally unbelievable and over the top, which these films are, which makes them so enjoyable, that she punches herself out of the coffin through about 6 foot of earth. And I think it's so funny when she escapes and she comes out through that grave and she's walking across the road with that trail of dust behind her, just looking like a zombie. And the look on that guy's face from the coffee shop, he's just in disbelief. Of Uma Thurman just sits there and just has a cup of coffee. But it's brilliant. It's over the top, which makes it so brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the whole thing, isn't it? These films, like you say, Stuart, it's over the top. It's funny. You've got to laugh at it, haven't you? Because what would you do if you just escaped a grave? You'd probably go down the pub, wouldn't you? Have a pint, something like that.
I think I'd do a podcast about it.
Yeah? No,
have a shower.
We all do different things. I'd probably go, just give me a pint of beer, for fuck's sake. I'll just be buried alive,
It would be nice.
Yeah.
But then she goes back to Budd, and Budd's with Elle, and she's there to buy the Hanzo sword. I really, really like this scene. I think it plays out well. And the action in number 2 compared to number 1, bearing in mind that it's like the grand finale, it's surprising how enjoyable it is, but how lacking in action compared to the first one, and it still manages to work. I mean,
but you're in a caravan. You've got such a small space to work in. Like there's only a limited amount of action you can have, isn't there? But it works so well. I love this scene.
It's an action-packed scene. It's just this film is very different to the first one in the sense of, like you say, Stu, the first one is complete carnage, especially a good third of it where she's fighting the Crazy 8 and everyone like that. And this one is very much just hunt and kill down the rest, isn't it? But it is done in a very different way. I agree.
Yeah, it's dialogue heavy, this one, isn't it?
Yeah.
But this is your favourite one, though, Jay, isn't it?
No, actually. I like them. I was going to save it till the end. I like them both the same, if I'm honest. This is a bit of a giveaway. But what's weird is I can watch the first one again and again. This one I couldn't watch again and again, even though I like them just as much. I think the first one is more entertaining. This one is more akin almost to a classic Tarantino film because it's got a lot more of the dialogue that we kind of expect, particularly towards the end between Bill and Beatrix, and kind of at the beginning when they were having it. Feels like a lot more like a Tarantino film, and there is a lot less action in it. But I do like them for different reasons, just as much. But yeah,
I'm pretty confident I've got recorded that the second one is your favourite one.
I don't know. Well, then I must have lied. Or, maybe I lied because after watching this one again, I like both, but I can watch the first one like a couple of times a year. This one probably like once a year. The other one I can watch 2-3 times a year and not get bored, even though I think they're both really good films.
I couldn't watch them again. It's terrible, isn't it?
No, it's good, though, isn't it?
I've done it.
Like the same film. And if it was like a Tarantino wank fest, it would be a boring podcast, wouldn't it? So,
Are you trying to say last week's was boring?
No, it wasn't. But yeah.
So Budd goes to, or Elle goes to meet Budd, and she got $1 million to buy the Hanzo sword. That's what she wants. And when they're talking, that you don't get the sense that she's pissed off about anything in particular, that she's there just for the sword. And I find it really interesting decision that she kind of killed Budd. She had what they call there's a black mamba in the suitcase.
Black mamba.
Yeah, but the black mamba, it kind of went out like a cobra first of all, which was
it did, yeah, which was
black mambas don't do that. They will rise to about 4 foot in the air, but they don't fan out like a cobra. But what do you think she killed Budd and to everyone because of the horrible death and the undignified death that he gave Uma Thurman, or was it because she just didn't like him and wanted to keep the money? What was her agenda? The fact that she did kill Bill's brother.
I thought that she wanted to kill her. I thought she wanted that ultimate pleasure of killing her. So she got rid of him. Yeah.
No, I think it's a case of that she's never liked Buck anyway, or Budd, sorry, and she didn't want to give him the money and wanted the sword. And she is sadistic in herself, and the fact that she poisons him with the snake and then just reads to him about how he's going to die and everything else like that was absolutely brilliant. But I think her motive is she's just evil. She's quite happy to poison people in the hospital, and she's quite happy to, rather than have a fair fight or have a fight with someone, she's like, I'll put a snake in there because I'm going to kill him anyway, and I'm not giving him $1 million and all this sort of stuff. What
do you think, Jay?
I think, she was annoyed that he killed her, because interestingly, obviously she comes prepared with a view of killing him, and then on the phone to Bill, she kind of intimates that she's the one that did it, not the brother. If you make, so she gets the credit for it, which kind of proves like Neil's point.
No, completely. Go on, mate.
No, I thought that she was pissed at the fact that she didn't get the opportunity to kill her.
Yeah.
But question for you guys: did you, when he was going through the money, did any of you? Because I certainly did. Did you think there would be some kind of booby trap in there? I didn't know it would be a snake, but did you think there would be some kind of booby trap in there at all when you first saw it?
Yeah, look on her face gave that away, didn't it?
Right.
When she was waiting for a reaction when he started counting the money. But I do like the fact that she's taken time out to write 4 pages of notes.
It was great.
I loved it.
And you could read it in her handwriting as well. She played it so well.
It's absolutely brilliant, and she's loving every second reading out how the neurotoxin will come and kill you and how much toxin is in his body. She does it so well, doesn't she? I love this. It's so sick and sadistic.
Yeah, she does play her character very well, doesn't she? She's very believable in this. Just completely, she's nasty, isn't she? She's just horrible. She's a horrible person. She's only, she's only interested in Bill. She just wants to make Bill happy.
Yeah.
And I think she probably hates Beatrix because of the fact that he chose her over herself, so to speak. And that's probably,
I think that's spot on. I think they've all got their own agendas, haven't they? In this, as that why they want certain people dead. And I think you're right, Neil. I think that there is that level of jealousy there, and that's kind of shown in a hospital when she was just about to kill her, and Bill said, "Stop, abort the mission, abort the mission," and she sulked like a child, and that I think she felt that she could take her out and kill her, and she hated Budd because he was a lazy slob.
Yeah.
So the mixture of all of them, but the fight between these two, because they've been trained by Pai Mei, it's a good fight. It's a similar fight, and in such a small area, and they both beat shit out of each other, don't they?
Oh, it's brilliant. It's fantastic.
It was a great scene.
The amount of times they kick each other in the genitals is hilarious as well. It made me laugh. It really did. The amount of crotch shots they did, and But it was funny. It was very well played because they're really evenly matched. Even at one point, they both kick each other exactly the same, don't they?
Yeah.
At the same time and stuff, and very evil fighting. You know, they both blatantly just want to kill each other. But it's brilliant, excellent choreography.
Yeah. And I think it was good that it wasn't like a karate fight. That it was just a free for all fight like you'd have in the street when you're all pissed up and you're just going for it and you do whatever it takes to win.
Yes.
And it was more effective that way rather than them two having a nice tidy karate fight that they've been taught.
Yeah.
Did you wonder what that snake was though? Because at some point, I thought to myself, at some point that snake's coming back, but obviously it never showed its head again. So, but I thought who's going to get bitten by the snake? But obviously no one did. So.
No, I did wonder when I first saw this whether while they were rolling around on the floor, maybe that Elle would maybe be bitten by her own snake or something like that.
Yeah.
But it never came to pass. But when she got her head dunked down Buck's toilet, oh my god,
Justin,
that was great. Yeah, that was so good.
Who would want their head
and then she got a face full
toilet?
A face full of chewing tobacco as well.
Yeah, fucking minging.
When you think how many times Budd has wrecked that toilet after his knockdown.
Nice.
He'd wreck it Ralph every night on that toilet, and I doubt if he'd clean it ever.
No, he doesn't look like a clean person, does he? Let's be fair.
He doesn't. And the taking of the eye, I think that's brilliant. Obviously,
that was so funny.
It's just so good. For those who haven't seen this, watch the film, you realise that Elle's only got one eye, and the good eye she's got, Uma Thurman just plucks it out, and the reaction as well is great from Elle Driver, isn't it? The fact that she freaks out, it's exactly what Pai Mei did to her. And before that happens, I think what kind of they do is her undoing. Like they do in a lot of films, they tell the person who's equally as deadly something that really winds them up. It's going to make them so angry that it was Pai Mei who took out Elle Driver's eye after she back-chatted Pai Mei. And then she got Pai Mei back, and that she does with everyone, poison the old git. And she has great pleasure in telling Uma Thurman that, with the fish head. And she gets her back by plucking out the only good eye that Elle Driver's got, and she freaks the hell out, doesn't she? It's brilliant.
It's like someone's wound her right up, like right to the point that she's going to break, and then just watch her unwind in that bathroom. But it's almost comical, just like watching her spin around the bathroom. I was laughing at that. But probably shouldn't have done, but yeah.
You can imagine that's how you would react, though, isn't it? You have one eye.
Yeah.
So you're already, partially sighted, obviously, and then to have that plucked from you in the middle of the fucking desert with a snake minging about, doing his thing, you've got no way of getting anywhere, have you?
Oh, God, no, it's terrifying, isn't it?
Would be.
Yeah, and why didn't she take the money? Uma Thurman, I thought she'd take that case of money, but she didn't take that $1 million. Why do you think that is?
She's not interested.
Wasn't there for the money, was she?
No, she's not interested in the money.
She can always go back to it.
She could. At the moment, she's got nothing to lose. She thinks her daughter is dead, and she's killing everyone that tried to kill her and her daughter. Had she known about the daughter, she may have taken it. Maybe, that's what I figured.
Yeah, and who was when she's on her travels next, and she goes and sees this kind of Spanish guy who clearly prostitutes women out, who's very savage. You learn that by one of the women who's there, who looks like she's been beaten up and a bit of her lips missing.
It was apparently filmed in a brothel, Stu, that bit.
Oh, was it really?
And allegedly, with and the extras were part of that brothel, allegedly.
Because
I don't know how true that is.
Blimey, that is quite interesting. He looks very sinister. The way he talks is very evil. That women are just objects to him. And again, that's just like Bill. The way Bill talks very softly, and but it manages to hold a threatening tone. This guy is the same. But what part did this guy play in the story?
Well, he just knew where Bill was because he was like a son to him. So she knew that he knew where Bill would be. So that's the only reason he's in this. and he is sadistic, and you can see that how much hatred she has for him and how he treats women on her face. I think the scene's very nice. It's a horrible scene, but it's very well done. But yeah, it was an interesting one, wasn't it? The fact that he was just sort of put in there, but it's a nice way to link to. She has no freaking idea where Bill is because no one's actually told her where Bill is at this point. She's used the other character from the first one to give Bill a message, but no one's actually told her where he is. So it was a nice link put in there that this father figure, who's clearly a sadistic bastard, will know who he is. But it was quite strange. She said, he goes, "Do you know why I'm helping you?" And she's like, "No." And he goes, "Because Bill would want me to."
It's really weird, isn't it?
It is. But I guess Bill does want to see her again, but on his terms, I guess.
And they are on his terms. And it's weird because the last 48 minutes of this film is at Bill's home address. And I'm really surprised. When I first watched this, I have to say, I know looking back and now watching it again, it's quite predictable. But I was really surprised when she goes in to kill Bill that her daughter is there. And he's raised his daughter and her daughter all the time without her knowing. That was a real surprise to me. And looking back at it now, I should have kind of expected it, knowing the way this film goes. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I didn't expect that at all.
No.
Well, you didn't?
No, not at all, no.
No, it was a complete twist, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And like you say, it wasn't expected. Yeah. But,
and I think Uma Thurman plays it well. Her reaction is spot on, isn't it? Of absolute horror and happiness at the same time. That she's been robbed of her life, this time with her daughter, who's, I don't know how old she's meant to be.
Must be about 4.
3, 4,
she was in a coma for 4 years, wasn't she? So that's she obviously...
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So, must be around that age.
But it shows what a bastard he is, doesn't it? That he's done this, and his reaction, he knows the pain that Uma Thurman's going through, which is just so apparent on her face and done so well, that Bill doesn't apologise at this time and plays along. They're playing, she's got like a water pistol, and he's saying, "Oh, you've been shot. You've got to roll over, you're dead." And bless her, she does go along with it. But he's so callous, and this is where, for me, you see the evil side of Bill. This reaction and what he's putting her through is so evil.
It is, but it's weird, isn't it? Yes, he is so evil, but at the same time, you can see that he does love his daughter throughout this, and he appears to be, from the point of being a father to her, very good, if that makes any sense, you know? It's really strange. What he's done is absolutely horrible, but from the daughter's point of view, she absolutely loves him, especially when they talk about the incident with the goldfish, etc. Yeah, and he does come across as much as you can do for him, a loving father. So you do, for me, I did gain a bit of, okay, that's interesting. I liked him for being a good father, yet as what you're saying, Stu, it's absolutely sadistic of what he did. It was really weird. It was like two sides of the coin battling in my head.
It just goes to show what his character's like, though, isn't it? Because he clearly loves Kiddo and he loves his daughter, but he's got that side of him where he is a sadistic killer, and anyone that wrongs him is going to be dead.
Yeah, he's a sociopath completely, and
massively.
But yeah, he clearly does love his daughter, but I found, I mean, the story he tells about the girl getting the goldfish out and stamping on it, it was a very strange story to tell, and I don't know how I'd react if one of my kids got the goldfish out, which they've got, and stamped on it. I'd think there was something wrong with my child, and I want to know why he did that. But the way Bill was telling it, it was like a perfectly normal thing and a reaction, and like a self-discovery for the daughter as to what happens when you stand on things. And I question Bill's upbringing as to what he's turning his daughter or training his daughter to be, if he is. I don't know what you got from that story.
Well, he sees life and death very differently, doesn't he? He just sees it as that because he obviously kills people. He has his entire life, and he's trained his people to do it. And to him, it was just a lesson for her in relation to this is what happens if you take a fish out of water and you step on it, it dies. You know, it is odd. It is odd, and you would your son or daughter, you would turn around and go, "What the bloody hell did you do that for?" You know, you talk to him about it. But he's so calm about death that he's nonchalant, isn't he? And it is very creepy.
Yeah, I question if that's the right thing to bring up a child about, though.
Well, he sees life differently, though, doesn't he? He doesn't see it the same as we do. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
He's detached from normality in relation to life and death. He just sees it as you're alive until you're dead. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but his daughter's going to be brought up like that, isn't she?
Oh, definitely.
Be like, fucking, she'll kill a dog and go, there you go, you haven't got a dog anymore. And it won't mean anything to her.
Yeah.
It's a sadistic way of bringing it up. But equally, Uma Thurman, not that she's in a position to question it, because she's just discovered she's got a daughter, but she doesn't seem phased about that either, really, does she? But mind you, she's an assassin and a killer anyway. So
exactly, he's groomed her to be that way. We don't know when she got in touch, or Bill got in touch with her as a youngster, and what have you, and got her through all this training. But she was clearly an impressionable young woman, and he's picked her to do that. So you know, she has slightly different views, because obviously it's her daughter, and it's all must be extremely emotional for her. But you know, she doesn't care once she's killed people, does she?
No. And at 4 years old, she's watching like Sonny Sheba films where they cut people up into little bits. So yeah, I don't think she's shy on the killing front of what people are doing, which is quite good. And when they come back and she kind of lies down with her daughter, and her daughter falls asleep, and she's kind of at peace that she's got a daughter, but that ramps up the hatred towards Bill. And I couldn't work out how this was going to play out, because I thought it can't be a case of they have a fight and everything's destroyed, because the daughter will wake up. This had to happen without the daughter being awake. And I didn't expect him to shoot her in the leg with like truth serum. That was really unexpected.
Well, he fired off 2 rounds. I thought that because he shot a melon or something in the fruit bowl for a start. He shot something in the fruit bowl.
As well.
Well, that's gonna in the TV, that's gonna wake the daughter up in the first place, but it didn't.
No, that's true. That is a slight plot hole, isn't it? But yeah, the truth serum bit was a good twist, I thought, and the way he explained it as well was very clever.
I have a few unanswered questions. So, before this tale of bloody revenge reaches its climax, I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want you to tell me the truth. However, therein lies a dilemma. Because when it comes to the subject of me, I believe you are truly and utterly incapable of telling the truth, especially to me, and least of all, to yourself. And when it comes to the subject of me, I am truly and utterly incapable of believing anything you say.
The sense that he could never believe anything she said, and he hasn't got the ability to think that she could ever tell the truth anyway. So whatever she says, he's never going to believe, because of his own downfalls and how he feels about, and how she feels about him. So I thought it was clever.
Oh yeah, I thought it was explained really well when it was when you kind of got all these mystic martial arts and suddenly he's firing truth serum into her. It's you're taking a completely different road, and the conversation between both of them is good, and he knows that she's gonna her intention is just to kill her, and you get that flash away, a break from this, where you get the assassin coming through the door when she discovers that she's pregnant. And I love the way you're taken out of this scene between her and Bill, brought into this hotel room, and you've got the code between both of these killers that she says, look at this pregnancy test, I've just discovered I'm going to be a mum. And I think it's great that this other assassin, who's clearly vicious, who wants to kill her, then just backs down and leaves. And when she leaves, she says something like, "Good luck with your pregnancy," or something like that. Something really weird and random. But I like the code between these. It's very kind of John Wick, which obviously a favourite of James.
I like John Wick. It's not it's not John Wick 2. John Wick 1 and 3. It's very John Wick 1 and 3.
Every week.
Sorry.
It's like an OCD.
Yeah, it is. I've got a problem. Sorry, guys.
John Wick 1 and 3. John Wick 1 and 3. 1 and 3. Not 2.
1 and 3, not number 2.
1 and 3.
Exactly. And how did you? I mean, the way to kind of round this up is that they do going to have a fight, and I think Bill would have kicked her ass in a fight. I honestly do. Do you think it would have gone her way, or if they would have had a sword fight, a hand-to-hand fight? Do you think Bill would have won?
Well,
he's getting pissed up though in just whole bit, isn't he? He's doing shots like there's no tomorrow, which I found quite fun. So I don't know if he would.
Yeah,
I don't know if he would, because they did kind of have a fight. It almost looked like they were evenly matched in that very few 8-9 seconds until she did the 5 palms exploding heart thing. Yeah, and that was almost the difference making between the two. Other than that, they were quite even, because the shots, that was really good. That was a really interesting, albeit short, 10 seconds if that that they were going through before she did that, and they looked very even, didn't they, up until that point?
Yeah. Do you think Bill thought the reaction of the daughter, of her discovering she's got a daughter, may win her over, and that he didn't expect to die, that he thought that would be enough to get them as a couple? Do you think that was his intention?
Yeah,
I thought that initially when I first saw it.
Yeah. I think he knew that it was either going to wait. He knew that she wanted to kill him, but he was hoping that she could turn him. He could turn her around to being that, we can all be together and everything else like that. And I did it for these reasons. You know who I am and how you knew I react in this way and stuff like that. Because he says, "Are you really surprised I did it?" And she says yes, but then you can even see in her face, he's like, "Well, actually, no, you are a sadistic bastard."
Yeah.
I was going to get some sort of reaction, So, but obviously, it was never going to happen from Kiddo's point of view at all.
No. I mean, talking about the fight, Bill does disarm her. He does manage to get the sword off her, and she's only got the sheath of the sword, and that's why she does the 5-finger exploding heart move, which obviously he didn't realise that Pai Mei taught her. And I like his reaction to that. It's as if he's never taught anyone, and clearly you are something different. But I don't know, because Bill did disarm her within seconds, so it would have been an interesting fight. And I like the acceptance of the fact he knows that after you've done this move, that after you walk 5 steps, your heart explodes and you die. That's the whole mystery of this. And I love the fact that they've got this one move. It's like when you're playing kind of Tekken and different things like that, or Mortal Kombat, you've got this move you can do and it will kill them. And I love the fact that there's this mysterious move that certain people can do, and it will kill you no matter what, and you can walk 5 steps. I loved all of that. Or do you guys like it, or do you think it was too cliche?
Did you not think it was? I liked it, but did you not think it was a little bit of an anticlimax, considering the 2 films were about Kill Bill? So she's building up the 2 films to Kill Bill, and all the action sequences in the previous ones that she's been involved with, and the killing of it the killing of him just seemed, whether it's I don't know, it just seemed so calm and just uneventful, really.
But that's the way it had to be, though, wasn't it? Because in the brilliant, and we've got to mention it, the brilliant kind of speech he gave about Superman.
Superman didn't become Superman. Superman was born Superman. When Superman wakes up in the morning, he's Superman. His alter ego is Clark Kent. His outfit with the big red S. That's the blanket he was wrapped in as a baby when the Kents found him. Those are his clothes. What Kent wears, the glasses, the business suit, that's the costume. That's the costume Superman wears to blend in with us. Clark Kent is how Superman views us. And what are the characteristics of Clark Kent? He's weak. He's unsure of himself. He's a coward. Clark Kent is Superman's critique on the whole human race.
And with her, when she's trying to be a mum and just a normal person going out, that's when she's in disguise, and that she's really is a killer, and that her true colours did come out, and she did kill him because that's who she is. And I think that's why they didn't need such a fight in the end, because he kind of set everything up. They do it brilliantly visually as well by showing Clark Kent the cartoons, don't they?
Yeah.
So that's the impression I got from it. And when he walked away, it kind of was another sign of just how powerful Beatrice is. So that's what I took from it. I don't know what Neil and Jay, what you took from it.
I enjoyed it. Sorry, Jay, go.
No, I think you summed it up actually really well, and I'm glad you mentioned the Superman thing, because I really like that analogy he made, and it made me think of the first time I heard it. It made me think of Superman a completely different way as well. It was like I hadn't realised that before. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, it was nice, wasn't it? The fact that he said that Superman sees the human race as sort of a timid, scared, weak, sort of individuals, in the sense that that's, unsure of themselves and stuff like that. I thought, because I'd never looked at it that way at all. You think he's just trying to fit in, but he is overly sort of timid and shy and all that sort of stuff, isn't he? The way he's portrayed.
It's brilliant.
Yeah,
it was so good. I'd never thought of that either. When you think the amount of times, and Jay, you love Superman, don't you?
I know.
I do.
Until I saw this, he's the best, isn't he, Paul? He's the best.
But and it ends kind of where they're together. You've got Uma Thurman's back with the daughter, and it's a very kind of cheesy smile that they give each other, like in the end of these films, where everything works out really, really well and they're happy. And I thought it was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. I thought the way they wrapped this film up, because it was so much fighting in the first one, and for them to have such little action and just to end the film, I thought it was great. They didn't end it on any cliffhanger, did they? There wasn't like, oh my God, there could be another one, even though we spoke last week about a possible third film. I thought the ending, the way they wrapped it up, was nice and tidy. That I didn't need anything else.
No, I completely agree. It was nice. She got her daughter back, which was unexpected, because we didn't think there was going to be such an event in the film. And it's very nicely done. And the very end with all the credits, where it shows all the different people, I thought was very clever. Very clever.
The type font was good as well. I like the type font. It was very 1940s maybe.
Yeah.
The
credits
it's
really nice.
Western sort
Loved
of thing.
it.
Yeah. It's good, as you say. They go through the whole film. They go through Kill Bill 1 and everything, don't they? As if it's like a massive curtain call where everyone just bows. I liked that, the whole cast, and it's just such an amazing cast. I thought it was so good. I really, really enjoyed this film. It was so good. I mean, I'll go first. I'll give it 5 out of 5. No shit bits. I just thought it was a really good, entertaining film, and a great second film compared to the first one. To do it without as much action, it could have really bombed, and it just worked for me. I thought it was, again, stylish and just brilliant. I really like this film. I watched it so many times now since we've done Kill Bill last week. I just thought it was cool.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's a 5 from me as well. It's as good as the first one, even though it is different, but it ties up all the little loose ends that were seeded in the first one, if you like, about the church and everything else like that. And it brought the other characters into it and shows, especially with Budd, how he's gone completely downhill from this assassin to a bum working at a titty bar and everything else like that. I don't think there's any bad bits. I think my favourite bit's probably Pai Mei. I love those scenes because it is just such a homage to those old school, films back from the 70s and stuff like that, where all this, I know you hate it, Paul, but all the stupid noises and everything, I really enjoyed it. No bad bits for me at all. I'd recommend it to anyone. And I'm glad they did it over 2 films rather than trying to cram it all into one, or pan it out too much and make it over like a trilogy.
Definitely. Jay, what do you think, my friend? Would you recommend Kill Bill?
Yeah. I think you guys said all that needs to be said about it, really, in terms of my opinion. It's a 5. I prefer the first one, albeit, I still give both a 5, as in, like, I can watch the first one again and again, more so than this, but simply because I like all the fighting. The only negative thing about this film, for me, was Pai Mei. I don't think, because they built his character up, so wide, I don't think he would have died from poison by Elle, which I thought was the only thing. I thought, okay, I don't really think that would have happened, given how, Pai Mei's character, which kind of like annoyed me a bit. Not to the point to give it anything less, but other than that, I thought it was such a good film.
No, that's fair enough. When Elle poisoned him, did she go back to poison him, or did she poison him while she was... No, she must have gone back to poison him. Yeah, which doesn't make sense, does it? Because he is so good. How did she get away with going back to do that?
I don't think it's just out of his character. It's like someone slipping Luke Skywalker a roofie, isn't it, or something? It just wouldn't happen.
No, I think it was during her training.
But
even so.
But he trained Uma Thurman after, didn't he?
No, we don't know that.
We don't know that. I think
it's not said anywhere. I'm pretty sure that he was trained her, and he pissed her off so much in the way he treated her that she obviously lost her eye during her training, and then just one night said, "I'm not fucking doing this shit anymore," and poisoned him. Yeah, but he's so cocky, he wouldn't have thought that anyone would do that to him.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe.
That's the impression I got.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting, because I just took it naturally for granted that they kind of trained in order of, like, that Uma Thurman was last and she was like the newest to the group, which is why everyone was like jealous of her, because she was the newest and suddenly Bill liked her. But yeah, we don't know because there's no timeline. So yeah, it's interesting. We've all taken it differently.
Yeah, I mean that's the only negative thing about the film, I thought. But it's interesting to see, obviously, Paul and Neil's take, because I hadn't really thought about it that way. But yeah.
So Paul, how do you rate this film then? Oh, sorry, Jay, you haven't scored it yet. Oh, you have, haven't you?
No, 5. Love it, better than John Wick 2.
Cheeky bastard! I'll edit that bit out, I tell you.
Well,
how would you score
the fact that James likes John Wick 2?
He will do by the end of this podcast, trust me.
No. Make some more edits in there. So for me, it was probably 3.75 to a 4. And I'm comparing it against number 1. Bearing in mind, it's the first time I've seen the pair of the films this week. Never seen them before. It was good. It was okay. The best bit for me was probably the caravan fight. That was quite comical, particularly when she loses her eye and spins around like a whirling dervish. That was a great bit. Worst bit was Pai Mei, I think. We've already said. It was just cheese, and not only that, but not just that bit, but there was one other bit as well. And that's just, I don't know, just the dialogue. The dialogue around the campfire just wound me up as well.
So if someone said to you, like, I saw Kill Bill the other day, or have you seen Kill Bill number 2?
Yeah.
Why would you say that you didn't like it? If you said, like, I've seen it and I think it's shit, because what would you say first? What would your initial reaction be as to why? On the whole, why didn't you like it?
Well, I didn't say I didn't like it. It was all right. It was a nice film. It was a good, like, 2 hours 11 minutes of enjoyable watching. But, like, it was okay. It was not. I wouldn't say it was shit, but it was okay watching. But it wasn't. I wasn't on the edge of my seat,
But what was missing from it that just makes it okay?
I don't know, Stu. I really don't know. I mean, I don't know. If I watched Tomorrow's World, I might. Was it Tomorrow's War? Not
Tomorrow's World. What the fuck are you getting on about?
If I watched Tomorrow's War, I might have something to compare it against how shit that apparently is according to you guys. But
that's a completely different
yeah,
type
I'm
of
not
film,
going
mate.
anywhere near that. Not after I've heard what you said. No way.
Don't.
No.
I loved it.
Terrible.
I watched it.
Did you really, James?
Oh, Jesus.
I really liked it. I did. I really liked it.
I'm gonna edit that. I loved it with John Wick 2.
John Wick 2, definitely. Yeah. That deserves it.
I mean, you guys know that my palate is not as rich as yours when it comes to film. Although I did study media at college, university, and film was part of that. But
that was like Buster Keaton, though, when you did
it. Bloody Keaton, bloody Buster Keaton.
I know.
Buster Keaton or Jordan in the
cinema.
Yeah. There was no dialogue. There was just things that were awkward in
the yeah. Who's this Charlie Chaplin chap? He's really good.
His thesis on Bobby Davro.
Yeah. Bobby Davro, yeah.
So, would you recommend this film?
Would I recommend it? Only in circles where someone said, "Oh, I like Quentin Tarantino." I go, "Yeah, okay. Well, if you like, watch this film." But I would, you know what? I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Your enthusiasm speaks volumes, my friend.
I'm sorry. I know. I'm sure.
If you met somebody who likes Quentin Tarantino who hasn't seen this film, I'd give him a kick up the arse, mate. Because
they don't like Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah,
I'm sure. 99% of the people that listen to this podcast are like, "What are you talking about?" But I don't know. I'm just not into his films. I've tried with a couple of other ones, but it's just. I get it. I understand. The message, and and I understand why he's got such a cult following, but yeah, it just doesn't do it for me,
No, different people like different things, don't they?
Makes it more interesting. Exactly. Well, after that lively debate at the end there, that is the end of our Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 retrospective review. So other views obviously are available on our iTunes, Android, and YouTube site where this will be uploaded to. And we're not too sure what we're going to do next. Obviously, there'll be Loki, the final Loki on Friday, which myself and Neil will be recording. I have watched half of Loki today and fell asleep.
Oh, don't start already. Don't start.
Oh, no.
Fucking hell, honestly. So, stop ruining it.
If the way it's going at the moment, I will seriously hammer this film on Friday. Honestly, hammer Loki the series on Friday. I really, really will. I'm fucking sick of it.
So Stu and Neil, out of the ones, where I have all the Marvel ones on the Disney Plus over the last year, is this the worst series that they've come out with? Comparing this to
100%.
Yeah, and Captain America by a long way.
I have not seen WandaVision, so I can't compare. But Stu loved it. I didn't even want to watch it because of how it was portrayed. It just looked like a pile of confusingness. But Falcon and the Winter Soldier was amazing.
WandaVision's really, really good. WandaVision. There was a reason when you watched it all, I released number 1 and number 2 because it's so bizarre. But if you stick with WandaVision, the payoff is so good. And it gets really exciting. And it makes you ask so many different questions. Whereas at the moment, Loki, I'm struggling. I turned it on today, and I even said to the wife, I said, "Fuck, this is boring. I can't watch this." And I stopped watching it, and I watched Kill Bill again. And it's just hard work. It's a fucking slog to watch this, and I'm so glad it's the last one. I really am pleased it's the last one. Something amazing has got to happen in the last 20 minutes of Loki for me to change my mind.
Stop it. I haven't seen it yet.
But yeah, so we haven't decided what we're going to do next week. But I know Paul would like to do a Caliber. You're desperate. You wanted to do Caliber, and we couldn't do it. It's still available on Netflix.
Yeah, let's do that.
Is it really? That's a shame.
Did you not like it?
Oh, we'll get into that if we're going to review it.
So
how do you spell it? Is it like the beer?
SHIT.
SHIT.
It's a cute little independent film.
Yeah, it's Caliber. CAL.
Wow.
Just put cow in Netflix.
Addis Ababa, Mr. Luthor.
Amazing.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But we can put it up for vote as into what we're going to do, but I know you've been wanting to do that one for ages, Paul.
No, do it.
Well,
I
couldn't do it at the time, could I? Because of other things. But
yeah,
it's a good.
No, hopefully it's good. It's 1 hour 41 minutes from 2018.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, there is a non-spoiler review on the YouTube channel of this, which doesn't spoil it whatsoever, which gives you a bit of a clue as to.
Well, that's good. Considering it's a non-spoiler review.
Yeah, exactly. It does help, doesn't it? yeah.
Sorry,
it's what happens is in the title, funnily enough. But yeah, so check that out, and we will hopefully do Caliber next week, which I can't wait to do and talk about that film. I can't wait to hear Neil moan about it. It'll be a divisive podcast, which is the best.
I love it. Did you find out my question about who the famous wrestler was in the original Spider-Man?
Yes.
No.
That was a question.
Who is it?
Go on then, Jay.
It's the Macho Man.
It was Macho Man Randy Savage.
I don't know who that is.
Buzzsaw. Yeah.
You don't know?
He's not a wrestling fan, is he?
He's no, he's not. You know Hulk Hogan and stuff. So
yeah.
You need the Nacho Man.
Nacho Man.
The Nacho Man.
No, sorry, the Macho Man.
He's a Mexican. He wears a massive nacho hat. Full of guacamole.
Sure,
blinds people with it.
Fucking hell.
Hey, gringo, you see my muscles?
Jesus. Sorry, guys. Sorry, man.
Sorry, Randy. I'm so glad we're recording this still. But no, I'll have a look at the Nacho Man and the Man.
Hey, me find McRockomelly, man.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. There is a reason why we never charge. Okay. I don't know what else to say, but thank you, everyone, for listening. And at the same time, I apologise to everyone for listening. So we'll be back next week with Caliber, where hopefully we'll be joined by Neil, James, and Paul again for more lively intellectual debate.
You are wishing, and probably not going to get any of that. But...
Yeah.
Well, cheers, guys. Everyone stay safe, and we will be back next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.